Preliminary match number 1, week 4, men's 5-pin. Bob Osborne, St. John's, Newfoundland, against Charles Chartrand from Gatineau, Quebec. And it's Osborne who is making his 3rd appearance here on TSN with the early advantage of a spare and a strike as we play in 3.
On the middle again. Great reaction. 3 frames, 3 on the head pin. 2 of them strikes. A little back up into that left-hand pocket. Nicely done.
Charles Chartrand from Gatineau, Quebec hits the head pin after 2 opens in 1 and 2. And you were saying he throws a curve ball, as it were. Describe this, because I don't see this that often.
Well, it's more like a 10-pin style. You can see his hands underneath the ball, and it's a big rotation from, if you like, it's counterclockwise. So he's trying to get a big spin on the ball. But it so much depends on lane conditions. On the side here in the stance position, and then he'll rotate it all the way over the top, but he's not getting a great amount of break on it. So lane conditions really affect that kind of ball, and speed does affect it as well. So it may be going a lot straighter than he's used to.
Well, they don't oil. Do they oil the lanes? They don't oil 5-pin lanes and 10s similarly, do they?
No, not similarly, but they do still put oil on them. Yeah, you have to protect the lane surface with some oil, but there's certainly a lot less on a typical 5-pin lane. These ones are dressed by machine to about 10 feet, and it's dressed flat across. So there's oil basically from channel to channel.
Well, I know Frank Sisson describes the 10 as a skid, hook, and roll. With the 10-pin ball. I mean, so is he trying to do the same kind of thing with the 5-pin ball?
With trying to throw that big curve, yes.
Okay. Oh boy, Bob Osborne looks like he's going to be tough to beat. Making his 3rd appearance on TSN, twice in the pins game and never getting past the preliminaries.
Oh, he's lined up here early. Again, left-hand pocket. Bowling ball just catches a piece of that left corner.
You can see the hole that Chartrand is in already. Mind you, Charles does have a strike up in 4.
Crossover, right pocket. The way Bob's throwing the ball, it's not going to matter which pocket he hits. Great release in between the 3rd and 4th arrow. Again, the bowling ball taking out the right corner on a big deflection.
Oh,
ouch.
That hurts when you've got the strike up.
Now, 3rd head pin in 5 frames.
So this is what you said earlier about making adjustments and making them quickly.
Well, 1 head pin, maybe you leave that alone. You don't make a change in location or speed, but you know, the 2nd one, you've got to make a move. The game's too short to stay in the same place and throw the same ball.
Charles works in maintenance at the Gatineau Hospital. And the open frame means he's 76 through 5. And you can see where Osborne is already at 120 through 3, and he still has the 2 strikes to take into account.
A little bit more lift, moved over on the approach. He went further left, came at it from a little bit different angle. Cross lane, good spare, left corner pin.
So he manages to get to mark the spare in 6, and He's looking at that score and just leaving his head shaking a little bit because he sees Osborne here with a spare and 4 strikes. A 4-time Newfoundland Labrador Bowler of the Year. Averages 271 at the Holiday Lanes, where he is the owner. So looking at the first open frame here for Osborne, which is good news for Chartrand. It sort of stops the string, but boy, it's going to be still a long way back for Chartrand.
Well, small opening, and he's really going to have to come back strong. Charles has got a possible 286. Bob Osborne with still a possible 375.
His hobby is classic cars, and this year's Canadian Championships are brought to you in part by CarCrazy.ca. Some of the best car auctions in the country are held right here in Canada, or in Calgary.
Looking for a string pull on that one. A little bit thick in the left-hand pocket. Second corner pin of the match for Bob. Had a left corner in the first frame. Different angle at that corner pin. He goes straight up the boards instead of cross lane like most players do, but extremely accurate with it.
So that's a nice bounce back after the open in 6 with the spare for Osborne in 7. But Chartrand now has that spare in 6. Can he do anything with it? Build some count. That's better for him. That's just his second strike. You saw his average of 260. He bowls at the Salon de Kiel and La Carrefour, and Paris bowls in Gatineau.
Well, change the angle really helped here. Like I said, he's moved left on the approach. Since he's done that, he's gone left corner strike. Well, that one slid on him. Again, looking for it to break right to left on the lane surface, and it just seemed to skid right by the head pin.
It only makes sense to me, and maybe it shouldn't, that if you're going to play that kind of ball with a 10 pin, you've got more surface area on the ball to make it hook, to curve. If you've got a smaller 5 pin ball, it just seems natural that it's not going to.
Well, you're absolutely correct. The difference, though, is also on the 10 pin, there's way more oil on the lane.
Right. Okay.
Plus the weights in the bowling ball, they're drilled to help make it hook. No weights in a 5-pin ball, smaller surface, less oil. So the drier the lane, the more it should hook or break on the lane.
Missed opportunity, though, for Chartrand. He had the strike up, and then he comes back with the open.
Yeah, he's made a couple of good shots in this game, but just never got it together and threw back-to-back ones. The spare here, Bob can just about put this one on cruise control. Got off to such a great start. On the inside and the spare.
So really at this point, Bob Osborne is on the verge of clinching this with the spare up. He's sitting at 215. With the spare, really, he's at 230, and the best that Chartrand can do is 231. So Osborne has a chance here to close it out in the 9th. Oof.
Well, that's okay. Academic, that was enough. He just had to keep it on the lane.
So for the 1 pin, and he picks up the 5 points, and so Bob Osborne from St. John's, Newfoundland will advance.
Now, the big thing for Bob here with one more frame and these pins to pick up is just make good shots, because he's going to sit and wait one game while he sees who his opponent is going to be. You want to go there in a positive frame of mind, so don't let up, make good shots.
Boy, nicely done. Put it right between them.
Textbook. Picks up the 15 on that head pin, his second one of the match.
So 250 through 9 with the open, and Chartrand will wind it up here and comes back with the strike after the open. But it was those early frames. You know, he had 3 straight open frames, had a strike, up and open. And then he had a mark and a strike, and then he had an open. So just not able to.
No, he never found the range right off the bat. Those 3 head pins are real killers, especially when you're up against Bob Osborne, who threw 4 in a row.
Well, that pin was deemed to be still up. So we have another look. Watch the pin and watch for the gate. There's the gate coming down. There goes the pin down. So it's ruled the corner will stand. They'll have to reset. Yeah, you know, I mean, here's a guy, Charles Chartrand, who loves to go 4-wheeling, and he's just got a 4-wheeler that's misfiring. You know, it sounds good for a moment, and then something.
Yeah, he was on about
quite there.
3 cylinders, I think, to start with.
Yeah. This is his daughter, Veronique, and we welcome her to Calgary. He at least has met one of his goals in bowling. He said that one of the things he wanted to do was to make it to a TSN championship, and so here he is. But not the kind of performance, obviously, for him. And for Bob Osborne, a terrific performance by him. And so Osborne will now move on and wait to see who he plays. Gene Zebarth from Alberta or John DeGrazia from Thunder Bay. And your thoughts on Zebarth and DeGrazia?
It's going to be a tough match. I've watched Gene bowl a lot over the years. He's a great player. Lots of knowledge about the game. He's very quick to make adjustments. John I've never seen before, but obviously winning the Northern Ontario round, he's got some talent. Averaged 269 in doing that.
Nicely done to get the corner. Now there's also the possible spot on the team challenge. Chartrand is looking for here, and bring the numbers up a little bit. That's a good finish. 201 for Charles Chartrand from Gatineau, Quebec, but by his own admission, I'm sure well below what he's used to, his league average of 260.
There's a good shot.
Now you sort of tuck that away in your pocket, do you?
Absolutely. It's that positive frame of mind when you're going to sit out now one more match.
Well, what are you putting away? You know, I mean, your routine is one thing, but what are you trying to remember?
Location on the lane, speed you threw it at, how much rotation you were trying to put on it.
It's almost that muscle memory kind of thing, is it?
Well, it is. I mean, the approach part of things and the arm swing, those are all the muscle memory. It's more, in this case, it's more about location and speed.
Looking to go out with 3 in a row, and no, he'll get 5 more for a 285 for Bob Osborne, St. John's, Newfoundland, and he will move on. Charles Chartrand will take home to Gatineau the $250. As Osborne now waits to see who he'll play, Gene Zebarth or John DeGrazia. It's the men's 5-pin Canadian Championship.